Sorry, I just realised I hadn't put my picture up. Sometimes we can't understand people's actions, can we? What they do. But sometimes what it seems like in the beginning is what really happened. I don't know if I'm explaining that well enough. But at the end of the day, these two ladies, Eliza and Henrietta, part of triplets, identical twins, part of triplets. God knows how their family and their third sister, Edith, is feeling. Can't even imagine. Apparently, she had a premonition when she spoke to them at Christmas. She'd said, we did a video, we talked about that in another video, that she had a premonition that maybe something had happened to them. But then their family as well say that they seem normal, they were looking forward to the future. We don't know. Do you know what? This just goes to show to me, you just do not ever know what is happening in somebody's mind. You should never, ever assume that somebody is okay or they're not okay or what. You just don't know. You literally do not know. We are all individuals. We have our thoughts, we have our feelings, and sometimes we might be surprised to know how somebody is actually feeling. You know, we all sort of think, oh God, their behaviour is bad or whatever, you know, maybe somebody we're dealing with, and you think, oh God, but you just don't know what's going on in their heads, I suppose. I don't know what happened to these girls, you know. The police are saying there are no suspicious circumstances. At the end of the day, the police were right. The girls were in the river. How they got in the river, I don't know. But the police are saying there's no suspicious circumstances. What do the police know that we don't? Because it does feel strange that they were there at 2:00 in the morning, texting their landlady to say they weren't coming back to their accommodation, but no message to their families, at least as far as we know. Now, normally, people who unalive themselves do leave some sort of a message somewhere or some sort of clues. So maybe the police always had those clues and we just didn't know about it. But it's so very sad. Now, in the background of what you're looking at here, this is how the River Dee was. So this happened in Aberdeen, for anybody who doesn't know about this. Oh, and by the way, hi, I'm Vicky Marie. But anybody, and I'm based in Spain, but I, you know, follow true crime cases all over the world. And this case has captured people's attention for the simple reason they're so mysterious. So these ladies, it's unusual for two people. You know, I just hope they're still together now, wherever they are in, you know, in the other world. I hope at least they've still got each other. They disappeared 2:00 in the morning on the 7th of February, very mysteriously. Nobody knows why, or no, we've not been given the information why. And I just hope their family are sort of coping with this okay, because this is terrible news, of course, that their bodies have been found, but it's also better than never knowing what happened to them as well. So, you know, this is a thing we talk about a lot. You know, you would want to know what happened to your loved one, even if it is the worst news possible. It's better than never knowing, going on year after year and thinking, where are they? What happened to them? Right, okay. So, yeah, this background image here is a photo from literally when it happened. Maybe a bit warmer there now, but you can see that there's ice on the water there in the River Dee. It was freezing cold. You know, January is a bleak month, though. You know, if somebody's going to unalive themselves, probably likely to do it in January, to be honest, as much as any other month. It's after Christmas, people get this come down, don't they? You know, everybody feels a bit depressed, maybe financially they're in problems because of Christmas. We don't know that. As far as we know, they didn't have any financial problems. You know, they were living in a flat together, sharing the rent. They were saving up, apparently, to buy their own property. You know, they were both working. They have no children. They have no animals. So surely they can't have been that financially, you know, in problems financially. But do you know what? We don't know. Again, I mean, they may have been addicted to gambling. I mean, their family said they weren't, you know, interested in alcohol or drugs, etc. Of course, there's a possibility that they didn't know. You know, maybe they were and they didn't know. But let's presume that the family's sort of impression is correct. No alcohol problems, no drug problems. They seem to be leading a perfectly normal life, whatever that is. You know, but you never know. You never know what's going on in someone's head, do you? And of course, they're identical twins, part of triplets. So whatever one's feeling, the other one was probably feeling as well. So today in this video, basically, I'm not going to be talking about what might have happened to them. I'm just going to be telling you that yesterday, one body was found that was identified as Henrietta, one of the twins, and today another, well, actually late last night, not today that the other body was found, it was found late last night, seems to be Eliza. That's what the police are saying. They have not formally identified the bodies, but they'll know because of the clothes that they were wearing, etc. So the question now, next week, again, we're not going to look at it today, but the question is going to be, yeah, they went into the river. The police were right. They were in the river, but how did they get into the river? That's going to be the question. Or is this a case of unaliving? Is this a case of accidental death? Is it a question of foul play? Somebody pushing them in there? Could have been one of the twins pushing the other one in there for whatever reason. Or it could have been a decision that they took together, or one of them slipping into the water and the other one trying to save them and not being successful. You know, there's quite a few possibilities. And as I say, not today, but another day, probably tomorrow, when we know maybe a little bit more, we can talk about the different possibilities. So I'm just going to say hello to those of you that are here again, probably, because we were, hi Princess, hi BF. You should be able to hear me now. I think I was muted before. Yeah, good, good. Hi, David. The camera's better now, David. Hi, Annie Nicole. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know how they got in the river. All we know is they're in the river. Thank you, Princess. I'm going out for lunch shortly with my number one son is taking me for lunch. Hi, Heather. So, yeah, we don't know. I don't, well, I said, do you know, I'm 90% certain, or 90% certain in my head, that there probably isn't foul play in this case. But I'm still concerned about the message that was sent to the landlady, because I don't really understand why that message was sent to the landlady at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're not coming back to the apartment. Why would you even think about doing that? But do you know what? What I've certainly learned over these 2 years of covering true crime is you cannot ever try and put yourself in other people's position. Oh, you've got a metal detector, BF. That's interesting. Anyway, sorry. So I'm not going to digress because I want to. So let's have a look. I want to get on with the video. It's not intended to be a long video. I've got a little while to talk, but then I'm going off. I've got to go for lunch. Terrible, isn't it? Well, you know, that's how lucky I am. I count my blessings every day that I wake up in the morning, cover these cases, and sometimes I'm up all night, you know, worrying about them or thinking about them. But at the end of the day, I wake up in the morning and it's not me who's burying my son today. It's not me who's wondering what's happened to my loved one and they're getting fished out of a river. So we have to count our blessings, don't we? It's not me today anyway, but you know what, tomorrow it might be. Tomorrow my son might go completely off the rails and something might happen to him, or tomorrow you just don't know. You only have today. That's all you have, is this moment. You don't know what's going to happen later. You don't know what's going to be. I'm hoping that later I'll be going for a nice lunch, I'll have a little nap, and then I'll be watching The Masked Singer. That's my plans for today. But, who knows if I'll be allowed to do that. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting philosophical again. I've got to stop doing that. Okay. So, yeah, second body, basically. Second body found in search for the missing Hoosty sisters. So, of course, when that first body was found, which was not found by the police, it was somebody rang the police and said they saw a body floating in the river. We're exactly at that point where it's been 3 weeks, 21 to 23 days, similar to the Nicola Bulley case, other cases where the bodies tend to float to the surface. At the end of the day, the police like them, love them, hate them, whatever. They're right again in what they're saying. They thought in their experience, I think sometimes we have to remember as well is they have had so much experience with people disappearing near rivers. So, and I think this case is particularly sort of extraordinary because it's two people, two sisters who seem, to all intents and purposes, have, what you would call a normal life. On this photo of them, striding towards the riverside, you think, well, they look so purposeful. So had they made this decision to go and take their own lives? But why? We always want to know the why. I mean, there always is a why. It might not be a why that we understand, but there's some reason that these sisters have decided to do that. If they have unalived themselves, of course, they might not have unalived themselves. Something else might have happened. This is what's to come out, isn't it? And that's what we're going to talk about. Hi, Laurie. Hi, Mike. Just making sure I haven't missed anyone. Right, I'm going to just put this on full for a minute so you can see it properly. So a second body was recovered from the River Dee near Victoria Bridge. And so they have it, if they went in on Victoria Bridge, they haven't moved far. This is something that experts always say. When bodies go into the water, if they go into the water, they do not move far. That was what was strange about the Nicola Bulley case, wasn't it? Because she was found so far away from where she supposedly went into the water, and all those people looked for her, and she was found a mile away, round a bend, this, that. Anyway, not talking about that today, but these sisters, if this is true, that's where they went into the river. This is true then, or it makes sense so even though the police have been searching for weeks, it is quite a big river. There was consternation that they might have been swept away, gone into the sea. Anyway, they didn't. They were just up, a little way away from where it's thought that they went into the water. Did they plan this? Did they decide that they were going to do this? They were going to go into the water together? Or did they slip, or one slipped and the other one tried to help them? Or did somebody push them into the water? You know, we don't know, but the police are not, you know, they've said from the beginning they did not think it was criminal. But I still think this picture, they look so purposeful, don't they? So if they had decided to do it to themselves, you know, why? Why would they decide to do it to themselves? Why are they so purposeful, you know, determined to do it? Anyway, so there's just some photos there. CCTV of their final. So what have we got here? So you've got, they left their home in Aberdeen city centre on January the 7th. CCTV then captured them walking on Market Street. Then they were spotted, so I presume that's a witness, spotted them on Victoria Bridge at 2:12. That's when they sent that text, apparently, to their landlady to say that they weren't coming back to the apartment. And then divers and a police dog unit trawled the River Dee. Oh, sorry, no, go back. So number 4 is next. They were heading in the direction of Aberdeen Boat Club. That's when they disappeared. This is when suddenly there was no trace of them. And then divers and a police dog unit trawled the River Dee. But they didn't. So, God, just literally a few days ago, it feels like a long time ago now, but it was literally a few days ago, the police announced they weren't searching the river anymore. They'd searched it intensively. They weren't going to search it anymore. And just after that, the bodies are found. So this woman has yet to be identified, but the family of Eliza Husti, who has been reported in the missing from Tuesday, the 7th of January, have been informed. And the body was found just 14 hours after another body was discovered near Aberdeen Boat Club, with the family of Henrietta being informed. So they've definitely they've gone into the water at the point the police thought they went into the water. The only question now is, why? Why did they? You know, what was so awful in their lives? You know, if they unalived themselves, what was so awful in their lives that they felt like they had to do that? You know, it's tragic, isn't it? So I want to look at this again, because these were the 2 twins who turned up at the site with flowers. Now, these are 2 identical twins who turned up the site literally at the beginning with flowers and left a tribute. And I remember saying in the video that when I showed this video before, were they a bit premature, you know, in leaving flowers? But you know what? They're identical twins. Maybe they understand a little bit more about how twins feel, how difficult it is to be an identical twin. So let's have a look at this video again. So I think it's quite poignant.
And why you came here to the River Dee today?
Well, I just thought straight away when I heard what happened. Well, I don't know if they've gone into the water, but if they have, they've obviously been bullied, because I've been bullied most of my life.
And so that you're here to pay tribute to the twin sisters.
I just feel so sorry for them.
Did it strike a chord with you as soon as you seen it on the news?
I've actually taken an overdose myself.
Jeez.
Just both quite small, quite easy to pick on and get marginalised.
But it was important for you to be here today to lay flowers and remember.
Yeah.
You know, so it seems like they had this sort of normal family life. You know, and they spoke to their family. I think they spoke to their mum a couple of days before. And of course, their third, I say they're twins, they're actually triplets. But the third sister is not identical, Edith. She's still in Hungary. And it's interesting what you say there, but I didn't know you were a twin. That's interesting. You know, yeah, because if you grow in the womb together, there are different kinds of twins, of course, aren't there? So there's identical twins and non-identical twins. You're bound to sort of share that feeling, is it? But it's like, is that what happened? Was one of the twins going through some sort of medical issue and the other one, and they decided they couldn't face, I don't know, whatever treatment, and the other one decided they couldn't live without them? These are the things that we have to find out. But that's what makes this case interesting to people. And I don't mean that in a sort of salacious way. Is like, why would two, and they're young women, they're in their early 30s, they're attractive, they were working, they had everything to live for. This is what makes it so sort of intriguing, is why then would they decide that they just had enough? There's always a reason. People don't take themselves off this planet for no reason. It might not be a reason that we understand, but everyone's got a reason. Maybe they can't face life. If you looked at these twins or triplets' life from the outside, you think, well, they're in the prime of their life, in their early 30s. They're two attractive women that have got each other. They've both got jobs. They've got no children, no sort of, what's the word? Responsibilities from what we can see. What would make them so miserable? So I think this interview with these twins is very relevant, because everyone's got their cross to bear, haven't they? So you might think because you're struggling financially, or because maybe you've got a mental illness, or maybe you've got a physical illness, there's a feeling like, well, what were they worrying about? Because they, to all intents and purposes, on the surface, their life seems straightforward. But, this is it, isn't it? People are all so individual. You just don't know what's going on in people's heads, and sometimes it's the people that seem more put together, than others, that they're the ones that are actually struggling the most. It's not that they're not struggling, it's just they know how to put on a better front to the world. So watching these twins talk, even a couple of weeks ago, I found it very poignant.
I just feel sorry for the family that are in Hungary, because they don't know what's happened to them, and my heart goes out to all the family in Hungary. The other little triplet as well. Yeah, I'm thinking about the little triplet, because they're triplets.
And you came here, how did you get here today?
I just got a bus.
And it took you, about an hour and a half each way?
About an hour and 37 minutes.
But you were saying that you've not slept since you heard about it?
I haven't slept at all, because I find that, there must have been agony and pain. Something obviously happened to them, to hurt them so much. And they probably, I don't know, I've had to move out of a lot of flats and houses. I'm happy now in Keith, but I've had to move out of a lot of flats in Glasgow, because we got picked on.
Yeah, so I just want to say hello to people coming in. Hi, Annie. There's a couple of other people, Tara, and a couple of other people that have come in. Sorry I'm missing you, because I'm just listening to what these twins are saying. But, Laurie, I don't think it's a coincidence that the twins were going past or whatever. That sounds like you're saying maybe you think it's a conspiracy theory or something. I don't think that at all. You know what? Not everything is. Weird things happen in life. Sometimes not everything is a conspiracy theory. These twins came to lay a tribute because they identify with those twins. I don't agree with that at all.
Twins, and I've had to move away a lot of times. It's cost me a lot of money as well, moving all the time, and you get marginalised when you're twin. And people seem to be extra strong. Like, if something happens, they're going to turn a bricks on top of you. And I just feel so sorry for them. They're so kind girls. You can tell they're kind girls.
And you think as well, you were saying that twins would keep things to themselves?
Yeah. If something has happened, then twins keep things to themselves. They wouldn't actually share it with anybody. Even the family. Even if they say it's a close-knit family, it's quite embarrassing being bullied. Because you kind of think you get bullied at primary school, the adults can get bullied as well.
Yeah, so I think it's important what they're saying there. So although it feels like it's a close-knit family, do twins feel, well, identical twins? I'm not an identical twin, so I don't know. It's like somebody wouldn't understand how I was feeling about things because they've not walked in my shoes. They've not lived my life. I know I haven't lived these women's lives or Eliza and Henrietta's life. Who knows, why they do. Oh, I'm going to show you, talking of conspiracy theories, which we were earlier, I'm going to show you, just shows sometimes I'm starting to feel a bit annoyed about conspiracy. I've seen quite a lot of it lately. There's too many conspiracy theories. Sometimes you go conspiracy theory too much. What a conspiracy theory too far. I've heard conspiracy theories that the Southport stabbings didn't happen, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. It's an insult to the families that are suffering from these things. It really is. I'm done with it, to be honest. If somebody can't provide me with evidence of something happening, forget it. It's not, there are certain conspiracy theories that I believe in. Like, I don't believe for a minute that we ever landed on the moon or that America ever landed on the moon, because I can look at that and I can see obviously it's not true. But other things that happen and people come out with all this crap and you just think, oh, for God's sake, you're so insulting to the victims of events. Sorry, I've forgotten why I started saying this. Oh, that's right, because I'm going to show you an article of what was being said in the Hungarian sort of crappy media press about these twins, that I wonder what they're going to say about it now, because they've got to take it all back. People do strange things. Strange things happen. Accidents happen. Not everything is a conspiracy theory.
And I think the kinder you are, the worse it is. Because I can tell those girls are kind, very kind souls, really very kind. I know I didn't know them, but I can tell by their eyes they're kind. And they probably did a lot of things together.
Yeah.
And
they probably just minded their own business. I mean, they probably just went to work, worked hard, and got home and just got on with their lives. But then people tend to.
I know. I mean, a lot of people aren't going out these days, and then they just stay inside all the time. And they probably didn't have much money, because private rents, they're renting, and private rents are extortionate. So they probably didn't have much money to socialise anyway. A lot of people just stay in these days and watch box sets. But then when you're twins, people just think you're
because of the weird.
They're weird.
Okay.
A lot of people stay in these days.
Yeah.
A lot of pubs and that are closing and everything because people aren't going out. It's not just twins. I mean, I'm sure they did go out.
Yeah.
They probably went to the library and stuff.
Yeah.
They probably like reading, for instance.
Books.
But your thoughts are with them. You wanted to come here today just to...
My thoughts are with the family in Hungary. And I just thought, I've had such a hard time. And I just want to find something's happened and they kept it themselves.
Yeah. So now, let me show you this. So this is a conspiracy theory that was coming out of Hungary, apparently. So this is a while ago. Oh no, it says 30th of January, but it wasn't. It's been updated. Secret life of missing Hungarian sisters explored as experts say they are still alive. After a 3-week search of the River Dee by police and military divers finds no trace of Eliza, and Henrietta Husti. Reports in their native Hungary suggest they were fleeing to start a new life. So this was what a lot of people were saying. Maybe they went off on a boat. So as if a boat wouldn't be seen by all the CCTV around. Anyway, reports in Hungary have suggested that this is before obviously their bodies were found. Missing sisters Eliza and Henrietta may have left Aberdeen in a speedboat in order to start a new life in secret elsewhere. The two women, both 32 and part of a set of triplets, vanished in the early hours of Tuesday, January the 7th. They were last seen on CCTV walking near to the River Dee. After an exhaustive 3-week search of the river and harbour turned up no clues, Police Scotland said that that stage of the operation has now finished. Sorry, hang on, something. Sorry. Oh, where's it gone? So remember, a few days ago, the police called off the search. And of course, as soon as they call off the search, now it's at the 3-week stage. I think that's why they call off these searches, because they know if these bodies are going to come up, they will. So detectives are said to believe the most likely explanation is that the sisters somehow ended up in the water and their bodies have been swept out to sea. But the Hungarian tabloid Blick suggests an alternative explanation is more likely. It states that an unlit, slow-moving electric... Sorry, I'm laughing. It's not even funny, but it's just so ludicrous. And unlit. We had this with Jay Slater. Oh, he'd gone off on a boat, or everyone's gone off. Do you know what? The crap that people talk. It states that an unlit, slow-moving, electric-powered motorboat could travel unnoticed on the river at night. Of course, oh yeah, whatever. Contrasting the Dee with the busy, well-lit Danube in Budapest. The report continues. The twins were last seen on CCTV cameras near the Aberdeen Boat Club marina where they disappeared. If they had fallen into the water, they would have been found by now. Well, of course they have now. But Victoria Bridge next to the marina is only 1.5 miles from the mouth of the North Sea, meaning, wait, where's it gone? Meaning a speedboat can reach the open water in 5 minutes. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but every time I say speedboat, it makes me laugh. Oh, God, the police must go mad at this sort of crazy things that people say. So Gaba, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, a retired detective. This will be the Mark Williams Thomas of Hungary, won't it? Was asked to examine all the available information on the case. He said, in the case of disappearances, it is a basic routine to go through the details one by one of what are the moments when someone or people could disappear. The Scottish police can now work on this. They are looking for whether Eliza and Henrietta had secrets they did not want to share with their friends or family. Double suicide can be ruled out, as the members of the search team would have found clues. Well, I don't think anything's... All that we know now is that they are in the river. How they got into the river, we don't know. So I don't think you can rule out double suicide. It's one of those things that's possible. It can also be ruled out that there is an incurable illness in the background, or that they committed a crime, which is why they are fleeing. Yeah, whatever. Thing is, he doesn't know. He hasn't got a clue, but he's trying to say things, for whatever. It reminds me, this literally is the Hungarian Mark Williams twonk. They were not threatened. There is no trace of this. How does he know? He does not know what information the police have. As for whether the twins wanted to start a new life, they may have talked about trying other cities. In addition, they have terminated their lease. Well, it's not a normal thing for someone to text their landlady at 2:00 in the morning and terminate their lease. We have to keep digging through their connections and messages. Well, he doesn't have to keep digging through their connections and messages. That's what the police will be doing. He's got nothing to do with the police except he thinks he's important. There might be someone who knows where they are. Well, we know where they are now. They were in the river. Where they went, what happened to them. I trust they will be found alive. So that's some idiot talking who knows absolutely nothing. He has no clue what happened to these girls. And it seems a mystery to all of us. But so an unlit speedboat went past and they jumped on it, apparently. Load of, oh God, makes me angry. Psychologist Erica Sagi also told Blick she believes the two sisters are still alive. She suggested a love story or a new influential relationship could be the explanation. She said, for one thing is sure, she doesn't even know these girls. She knows we don't know anything about it. Maybe even their own family don't know a lot about what was really going on. But she certainly knows absolutely sweet Fanny Adams about these girls. One thing is for sure, the two girls were hiding it for some reason. They might have been ashamed. And that is how they solved it. Oh my God. There were too many conscious steps before the disappearance for it to be a random accident in the background. In my opinion, they're alive, but they just don't want to or can't share this with their loved ones right now. What the hell? Sorry, I want to swear, but I'm not going to. What the F, let's say, Erica, what the F do you know about these girls? You didn't know them. You know as much as I know. You might be a psychologist, you know more than me. All we know is they've just been fished out the river. You know, we don't know why. You don't know why. Nobody knows why. God, fucking idiot. Why do we have to put up with all this crap that people talk about? Anyway. Hi, Pam. So yeah, at the end of the day, all that we know is they were in the body. Their bodies have been fished out the water, so they didn't go off on a boat. They didn't run off to make a new life. And then what we don't know is how they ended up in the water. That's what we don't know, and that is something that hopefully we will find out, but we don't know. You know, we just don't know up to now. So I've got to go. We will come on and do some sort of, we'll just wait until we get the full details, see what the police release. People can moan about the police as much as they want, but it's the police that deal with it. It's the police that were in there looking for them for 3 weeks and they didn't find them. And now they've been found, but it's the police that will have had to go and fish them out. It's not a very nice job, is it? And if tomorrow you needed somebody to help you because your loved one was missing or whatever, you would ring the police. We've got to stop police bashing, I think. Some police are bad. Of course they are. Of course they are. They're human beings. There's a lot of police out there that probably are not very nice person. Wayne Couzens is a prime example, and the other guy, the RAPIST from the Met Police. There'll always be bad police people. But that doesn't take away from the fact that probably 95% of people, certainly people who do these rescue missions, going out diving that's a horrible job that they do. They choose to do it. They do it for whatever reason, then they have to go home and have dinner with their families after they've just fished a body out of the river. Stop police bashing. I can't be doing with it. The police are not all bad. Some of the police are bad. You think the police are they're state agents, but they're not only there to protect the state, they are there to protect you as well. Whether you believe it or not, they are. But they have had their resources cut after 14 years of Conservative government. So let's see how it goes the next 14 years. Anyway, I don't know. And then when I say things like that, where I just sort of stick up for the police, people think I'm some sort of, police lover. It's not that. I'd be the first to criticise the police if they do the wrong thing. But I'm also the first to applaud the police when they do the right thing. So there you go. That's where I am on all this. Okay, thank you so much. I will see you really soon in the next video. Won't be today, unless something really. I'm going to go out for lunch. Number one son's taking me for lunch. I can't wait. And then later I'm going to come home. I'm going to have a nap. I'm going to watch The Masked Singer or any old crap that's on the telly. I'm going to try and forget about true crime or all these kind of things. Not for any, not for a disrespectful reason, just that sometimes you have to sort of, it's been a rough week, hasn't it? We've covered a lot of cases that are quite traumatic. But, lucky for us, we don't have to wake up in the morning. That's our lives. That's one of our loved ones. Lucky for us, that's not how it is for us. They're cases that we follow. We take an interest in them. We care about these people. But tomorrow, do you know what? I thank God for every good thing in my life. Day in, day out, hour by hour, really. I'm always thanking God for my life. And thanking God for all you that have helped me you helped me so much. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Bye.